Welcome back to English Corner for 9th grade. Are you ready to learn more English? Let's go! Did you know that English can be considered the language of the air? This means that every pilot must identify themselves in English while flying. It doesn't matter if they don't speak English as their first language.
In our last challenge, we saw the use of adjectives with ed and ing endings. And as a challenge, you had to describe a picture using both types of adjectives. For this challenge, we are going to use the adjectives that we have seen before, along with a type of vocabulary that you might know well, emojis. And this is going to give us this week's challenge. Considering this, the challenge for this week is to write a short story using adjectives with ed and ing endings and emojis.
Now, let's see the materials that we are going to need for this challenge. Number 1, you're going to need emojis. You can use emojis from your smartphone or you can draw them for the short story that you have to write. Number 2, your copybook. You can use your own copybook or you can use any program such as Word or Google Docs to write your story. Always remember that you can pause the video, go back, or go forward as much as you need so you can comprehend everything that is mentioned in the video.
Let's begin with a review of what adjectives are and how we can use them with ed and ing endings. What are adjectives? Adjectives are words that describe people, objects, situations, etc. For example, when you say, the red car is moving fast, red is the adjective. Or if you say the movie is boring, boring is the adjective. In our last challenge, we saw two types of adjectives, ed and ing endings. When we talk about adjectives with ed endings, we refer to the property of a person or people. In other words, how they feel. This usually can be considered feelings. For example, confused, excited, or scared. When we talk about adjectives with ing endings, we refer to the property of an object, a situation, or people. In other words, what provokes a certain feeling. For example, worrying, surprising, or disgusting. Now, let's see some examples of these adjectives. With ed ending, the girl is interested in horror movies. Interested is the description of the girl, the person. With ing endings, the book is fascinating. Fascinating is the description of the book, an object.
Can you use some of these adjectives with emojis to write a short story? Now, let's see the steps of the challenge so you know what to do.
Step number 1. Writing a short story. Write a short story of 3 lines maximum using only emojis. Here is an example. Step number 2. Translate the story. Translate the story into words using adjectives with ed and ing endings. Here is an example. In this example, you can see 4 adjectives using ed and ing endings. Step number 3. Send your story. You can send your story through Instagram at profejavi.cc. You have to send a picture of both versions of the short story, include your name and class, and remember to always select permanecer en el chat. You can also send your story through email at jballesteros@scc.cl. You can send a picture or a document with both versions of the stories. Include name and class. Forms of sending the story. Number 1. With your copybook. You are going to draw or print the story with emojis, write the story with words, and you're going to take a picture of both the stories together. Number 2. Through a document. You can use Word or Google Docs to write both stories, and you have to send a copy of the document. It's time to see a model answer for this challenge. Remember that you can pause the video so you can have a better look of this example.
We have reached the end of the video, but don't worry, you can always send your questions or doubts to my Instagram at profejavi.cc or to my email at jballesteros@scc.cl. Also remember that on Wednesday I will do a live session to answer all your questions, and on Friday I will upload a video with the model answers for this challenge. Last but not least, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at YouTube SC Canal and to follow our high school's Instagram at Tercer Ciclo SC. I'll be looking forward to reading all your stories. See you next time!